as the end of the offseason program, in a lot of ways, I see it as just our beginning and what we can be about and what we have. I think over the last 2 weeks, I felt this momentum shift. A lot of install had been in, through the first part of the offseason program. And now that those installs are going down, you're seeing the skill and the execution going up. And it's been really exciting to see. So I'm thrilled with the guys. They've really put in the work. We started way back, I think it was April 2nd with the veterans. And then we added the rookies into that group. And they really wanted to find out, the veterans did, are they for real? And how can they help us? And they absolutely answered that challenge in a very big way. So it's a fun group to coach.
Donna Hopkins, Pro Football Plus and In the Minute podcast out here at Commanders headquarters for the final day of veteran minicamp. So what was the takeaways? Let's start right with the quarterback situation. Jayden Daniel was able to talk to the media about where he sees himself right now after the OTAs and these 3 days, and what he likes to see as far as he continues to improve, continues to pick up the offense. But he likes the direction he's moving. But he knows that he still has work to do. As he takes a break, he said, going back to Huntington Beach, California, they asked him, would he be connecting with the wide receivers? And he said that that's something in the plan. But you can just tell that he's trying to soak up everything, trying to improve his game, not satisfied where he's at. We know that he's got a strong arm. We've seen that out here day in and day out as far as what he can do on the field and how he's opening up that offense for the wide receivers and even the running backs. So you can already see the maturity in him at this stage of his career. And you know what? The early stages at that.
Playbook, timing up the drops with the concepts, just expanding my football knowledge to go out there so I could finish off mini camp strong, put in the work and get ready for training camp to come out here and help the team get better in any way possible.
Huddle, the clear communication. I listen to every call that he makes, and so the IDing of the protection. So I would say he's further along, than you probably should be, but that's probably a attribute to him as well, to say like he was not going to leave a stone unturned in terms of the execution of it. And that's what we talked about over his next 40 days of the smallest of details again and again and again.
Well, Marcus Mariota in the final day of practice had a sweet pass in the end zone. I mean, he had to thread it in between 3 defenders. It was a pretty amazing thing. So when you look at the quarterback position overall, you got to be happy where this Commanders team stands right now with that position.
Talked earlier about the quarterback room, what that's like for Marcus in there and those guys. They've had some similar journeys, and being able to share that, I think, has been really powerful. I know they both enjoy each other's company a lot and spend a lot of time together. So I thought, what a good person for Jayden to be around in Marcus. Marcus has the competitive fire and the humility as well. So there's a kindred spirit, although the age is a little different. There's a lot of similarities with the two of them.
Now, let's go over to the running back position. It is so much competition there as far as Brian Robinson, as far as Chris Rodriguez, and of course, Austin Eckler. And we got a chance to catch up with Austin, and I got a chance to talk to Chris Rodriguez. And, Anthony Lynn talked about them when I caught up with him last week about what he sees in each player. Austin Eckler, the veteran leadership and, his skill set. And then he talked about Brian Robinson, making sure that he stays healthy and what he brings to the team. But then you talk about Chris Rodriguez, and he kind of highlighted what he likes in this guy. Dan Quinn talked about that running back position as far as the competition there and what he's seeing there and how each player is helping. So I think that that's going to be a sweet area of how they use those running backs. Brian Robinson in the final day had 2 back-to-back great catches over the middle. So this is what Austin had to say, and also catching up with Chris Rodriguez.
I know this league is brutal when it comes to how you're judged. You're judged off of your last season, and so right now it's another opportunity for me to rebound and show that, hey, I can still play at a high level. Strengths are well known. right? My strengths are well known. B-Rob's still getting himself in his footing going into year 3 here. And so I'm looking forward to, for us, not only with him, but the rest of the room as well, to competing out here. And for me, one of my philosophies every year is, hey, when I was a starter, it's like, you're trying to take my job. That's what your mindset has to be. And it's my job not to let you take my job. But here, I'm a leader where I'm going to help you. I'm going to try to help you as much as you can, because you pushing me is going to make me a better person, just like I'm going to try to push you. And so that's what we're about in that room, is competition, because it's going to help us all get
all
better.
Around competition. And as of Coach Lynn, man, he's been around, man. He's one of the greatest coaches that everybody tells me. So it's good to have him in the room, and he gives us a lot of feedback on things that we can improve on. And he's a smart dude, so we listen.
What have you seen from last year, you being a rookie last year, to this year? What have you seen in your game, the changes in? And I guess it's hard right now because you all are still learning the playbook. But what have you seen from last year to this year in your development?
Yeah, so basically for me, it's, the first thing the Coach Lynn said to me when he got here is, he's like, okay, what's one thing you think you need to improve on? And I said, well, maybe my, what did I say? I said my down the field, like getting open, or, whether that may be with the ball or without it. And he agreed with me. So he said, I agree with you. And every time we come out here, we do 2 minutes of like footwork drills, just to get better in and out of cuts, or just different stuff. So for him, it's one of the bigger parts to my game, is just making sure that I can break tackles, whether it's down the field or in the hole.
Have you seen that already, knowing that this is where you need to improve your game? Have you seen that already in this early stage?
Oh yeah, I've seen it a little bit. It's harder when you don't have pads. Everybody's tagging off, so it's hard not to say that they're going to make the tackle, or it's hard to say that they will make the tackle. So, I've seen a little bit. Some of the DBs have gave me feedback. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell.
The feedback, right?
Yeah, it's helpful. It's helpful for real. Pierre, who just got here, he is one of them, and he told me, he was like, yeah, you would have got me. I think I broke open one time, and he told me, he said, yeah, you would have got me right there. So.
How fun is this offense for you, this year, and what you're seeing from Kingsbury?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fast-paced, but at the same time, it puts the running back out in space for the most part, get us out in the slot sometimes. Being a receiver is fun for the most part, unless you do all that running. So it's been fun. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Even more so, Jahan Dotson talked about what he wants to see in his game this year. So I caught up with him, and this is what he had to say.
Trying to be better than I was last year, trying to be better than I was yesterday. That's really the main thing that I'm going at it. The main mindset I'm going at it this year, and be where my feet are. That's a big thing I've been telling myself, right here on the practice field a couple minutes ago, just trying to be in the moment, live in the moment, and get everything out of it. I know that they're doing a great job of putting me in positions where I succeed, and basically playing to my strengths. So it's been pretty good learning the offense and getting to build relationships with Cliff and Coach DQ. But yeah, they're doing a great job putting me in positions to be successful in this offense, and not only this offense, but on this team, like you said, punt returning, because I'm comfortable doing those things, and I feel like I can have a lot of success at it.
Last year didn't work out the way you wanted to. So looking at your game as far as what you want to improve upon, and talking to the coaches, they're looking. What are some of those areas that you say, this is where I've got to be better?
Yeah, I would say, after the catch, getting a lot of yak yards. That's one thing that, I did a very good job of, I feel like my rookie year, that I feel like I can get back to. Just effort after the catch. And then, just being present every single day. Like I said, I'm really focusing on being where my feet are. So just being in the moment and basically living it up and soaking it all in.
Not everybody always talks about the offensive line, as far as what are we going to expect out of them with 4 new starters. I talked to Coach Johnson last week, and I got a chance to catch up with some of the offensive linemen as far as what they're seeing through the OTAs and through these 3 days of veteran mini camp. And this is what the offensive line players that I caught up with had to say. Talk to me a little bit about this early part of just learning. What have you seen in your game in this early stage?
Right now I'm just like a sponge. I'm just trying to soak up everything that I see around me, from the coaches as of the players. Trying to add different things to my technique, my toolbox, being able to use different type of punches, different type of sets, and just working on us every day in those life situations.
So Coach Johnson, I talked to him last week. He said that you all are not at this offensive line at the point of running, but walking. What have you seen in the walking stage for you yourself and for this offensive line?
I mean, one thing that I can describe as offensive line is just like brotherhood. Everybody looks out for each other, make sure that everybody's on the same page. When we're out there, communication is great. And then also just the way we attack every practice. Making sure everybody's on the same speed, making sure everybody works hard, and nobody's slacking off. Everybody knows what they want and is determined to get it.
What has this process been like you, as far as learning the playbook and putting it into play out here in this veteran mini camp?
Yeah, just being in the playbook every day, trying to get it down, walking through my room, whatever I have to do. We've been good about having walkthroughs up here as a team. Rookies getting together, doing things like that. So it's been really good just putting a bunch of time into it. And then once you get in these live situations of practice, it even translates even more, being able to adapt to that stuff.
Hey, Chris, new regime this year, learning a new offense and everything. Could you just talk about what that process been like for you?
It's actually been really great, and to be honest, I really appreciate it just because I've been able to really expand my knowledge of the game, really almost transcending all of the NFL. So I really appreciate the opportunity.
Talk to me about Coach Johnson and what he's trying to instill in this offensive line, and what has it been like for you in incorporating this out on the field?
Absolutely. Coach Johnson really has done a great job reining all of the guys in and kind of talking to us individually about each and everything that we need to work on, being very diligent about how we study and study film and look at everything. And so it's been really beneficial for me personally, and I believe it's going to be extremely beneficial for our entire room.
Where have you seen the most improvement in this early part for you yourself?
Yes, I've seen a lot of improvement just in terms of my overall knowledge of the game, overall knowledge of how to block certain defenders, whether it's based on their alignment or based on the defensive scheme that they're running. And so definitely in terms of just overall football IQ and just overall the experience that comes with the games that I've played and the games that I play in, it's been extremely good.
I think we have a really intelligent group of guys that have a lot of experience, and that's cool to be a part of. I've been a part of a lot of different offensive lines of varying experience levels, and we've got a lot of guys that have played a lot of football at various places, and it's cool to hear different perspectives. So I think in that walking phase that we're in, we're blending the perspectives and of what Tyler did in Dallas and what Sam and Wiley did here last year, and what I'm bringing from Kansas City, what Dieter's bringing from Miami and Houston, and Luke with the places he's been. So we're in that walking phase, and it's us combining the thoughts that we have on offensive line play, because there's a lot of ways to play offensive line, and combining those thoughts and figuring out how the five up front want to play together.
But in the walking stage, what does that look like for this offensive line?
We're still getting the little details down, especially in the playbook. This is my fourth year here and our third playbook. So, we're just going through the little nuances of that. Just kind of seeing different looks. As the different looks present themselves, we have to, find solutions to those problems. Being able to do that. But yeah, that's what it means by walking stage. Now, once we start running, we have, they throw us something, we have an answer for it. And that's what we're building on right now.
I know it's too early to say what the offensive line is going to be like, but what have you seen so far out of this offensive line in the improvement from last year to this year?
These guys are, as improvement-wise, we seem to be, it's hard to say, to be completely honest with you, because we haven't put pads on yet. I could say we gel real well. I could say that we're on the same page majority of the time, and we're open to working on things all the time. So, as a big picture thing, I think we could do something special. We just have to work towards it.
You got to love the coming together of this offensive line, and Coach Johnson talked about that, about the walking phase that they're in and not quite in the running. But you still early on like what you're hearing from the offensive linemen, the fresh breath of air from Chris Paul and Sam and all of those guys as far as what they're seeing in this early stage. And we know that a lot of stuff still need to be put in, but that's the area that I've been watching throughout the OTAs and during these 3 days is how is the offensive line gelling. You still have to put in a lot of things, but as far as the playbook, the people picking up things that they need to pick up, you're seeing that early on. Now let's shift to the other side of the ball, defense. One area that I constantly talk about is the linebacker position and the upgrade there. And Coach Quinn talked about, what he's seeing from there and some of the improvements that he's seeing there and some of the things that has surprised him in that area.
Some of what I was hoping to see, I did, and maybe that's with Chin. I would say it's been good to see Martin, some down in the box, but some as a middle field safety. Luvu, although I knew that was a part of his game, I'd say it was probably even stronger than I thought. So those would be some, that jump out to me. At safety, there's probably even more communication that takes place from last year. He was featured a lot playing nickel. And so for a guy that can do both of those, that's a really big push. But man, I'm really excited about what he is, what he can be. And I just feel like he's one of those people I'm feeling this momentum take place for him to ride this big wave in, because he's just gaining confidence in this new system, and that's really important to do that this time of year. So then the month of training camp, that he's really ready to apply.
Just talk about veteran minicamp as everything starts to wind up. How has it been so far?
It's just another day of practice for us out here getting better, man, just competing and making each other better. So, man, today was fun. We heard a lot of noise, a lot of energy going on, and that's how it's supposed to be, like DQ say every day, man. So the moment we're having fun, that's how we're doing our jobs and just playing football.
Hey, Frankie, could you talk about just what you're seeing out of your group so far through the OTAs and just today, too?
Yeah. You talking about position-wise or just, yeah, man, they say we're the leaders of the defense, able to communicate. Whit talks about the chatty defense, and that's what we're trying to make it to be. Go out there, bring the energy, and every play, man, like it's your last. So, man, the group we have, man, we got a good guys that just come in and buy in and get ready to work.
Hey, Frankie, what are you seeing out of the defense as a whole, not just your position, but as a whole for this defense right now?
Just, high-intensity defense, man, just relentless effort, chatty defense, and guys are just out there flying to the ball and making plays.
You get a break, before the real training camp starts. How do you spend that time? I know that you have to stay still football ready.
Yeah, I don't think it's a break for, it's just 5 weeks off, but that week off is getting your mind right. What we take off right now till that break, getting ready for the season.
You're one of the veterans. What have you instilled in some of the younger guys on that side of the ball, too, as far as being here, what they need to do, and all of those pieces?
Joe says that we don't play with 11, we play with 18. And having those young guys to buy in early, it's a long season. So we're going to need them to step up to take roles, and you never know what happens through the season. So as much as we can bring along, man, it's going to be worth it for us through the season.
Are you having fun?
Oh, yeah, I'm having fun. Yes.
Right now, you know what? It is a upgrade, and I think you're going to be surprised about what you see there, because I see the depth there, and I see what that group is going to be, I think, something special. You've got to like what you're seeing out of this group right now, because you can see the direction that they're going. And Dan Quinn said that you can see improvement right off the bat right now, and they haven't even put on pads and started really hitting right now. And so we leave on a positive note, but this is what Dan Quinn had to say.
Over maybe the month, I would say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, like I felt this tide start to roll with some momentum about the improvement. And I felt like That's why it might be the end of minicamp, man. Like I feel like our foundation is starting. And so, like, we're about to go for it in a very big way, and it's cool to see the shift take place. I feel some identity coming along with the group, and Joe's done a really fantastic job, him along with the assistants, of helping support that identity. We're going to have a pretty deep crew, and Adam and I are going to have some really tough decisions from rosters months from now based on the work that the guys are putting in.
There you have it, Dan Quinn on the final steps before break and what he's hoping to see when this team returns. But right now it's headed in the right direction. So from Washington Commanders headquarters, I'm Donna Hopkins for Pro Football Plus and In the Minute Podcast, signing out.